I decided to keep the name the same because, like, if you make What If Naruto had a Sharingan and give him the Rinnegan later on, he still had the Sharingan, so it's still the same What If. So I'm not changing the name. But yeah. So I left off. It's gonna be that month training now. Naruto will be trying to figure out how to use his moves and all that. Hey, I'm back. I was just looking through some of this, but so it seems like most of his are using his hands to attack. I don't see any cakes. Okay, this right here, wax wing flash. I'll just call it shadow step. But yeah, secret arts is able to force his own shadows and manipulate near shadows. So he can manipulate shadows also. And Shadow Drive, isn't it like Fire Force? Or is it different? A type of magic technique used by to bring the true power of his Dragon Slayer abilities. It boosts by generate Dragon Force, yet at the same time it seems to enhance his physical prowess to decrease his degree auras from his body. Blank. Sure. Dragon Force, according to Zero, Dragon Force is most powerful or final stage a Dragon Slayer can attempt. Okay. So Naruto's overpowered in this because of this, so he can have like 2 Dragon Forces. But yeah, so Naruto in this training, he would just be testing his moves, combining his 2 Dragon Slayer magics together, and he would figure out a move called Burning Shadows, I'll call it. It's pretty much him combining his 2 Dragon Slayers together, and it would make a ball of shadows that are red and flaming hot. And he can take this move and he can blast it pretty much. Pretty much throw it and blast it in 2 hands. But it can also be used as like a melee weapon, kind of like the Rasengan. And it has spinning energy everywhere. Pretty much what I'm saying, it's the Rasengan. It's literally the Rasengan with Dragon Slayer magic. So yeah, just telling you. He's mastering his shadow warp thing. It's pretty much how Reaper does it, where he can like go from shadows to shadows, but Reaper can do it anywhere, but not the point. But yeah, he can teleport to shadows. So in a forest, he can pretty much move throughout it anywhere he wants. So anywhere really dark. And during night, he gets stronger, and during the day, his fire gets stronger, but nothing too big. But at night, he can literally do anything in the shadows. Just think of that. He would meet, Dryad, and that's how he got the idea of flaming shadows. And it's pretty much the Rasengan. So it is pretty strong. Dragon. Yeah, why does Dragon Force look like that? I don't like it. But yeah. So he his Dragon Force won't look like that because I don't like the look of it. But yeah, in that it's practically the Rasengan, but he just uses that. But it's not the Rasengan at the same time, so it can become stronger. Just telling you that. So he would. I'll just skip to the battles because nothing much happens except summoning jutsus and all that. Which I'll just still give him the toads because fire styled with the toads actually works pretty well. Which I thought toads would have more water styles than fire styles. Which I think they have both. But yeah. So, battle against Neji. Naruto's much faster now. So I think I put him at Lee's level of speed without any weights. And now, I wouldn't say he's doubled, but he's almost doubled, but he's a lot stronger. Might as well double his speeding strength. So since that would mean he's practically Lee with the first gate open because it unlocks full all. I would say, yeah, he's equal to Lee with the first gate open. Because Lee's strength doubles whenever he does that, because I would expect Lee can use more strength than a regular person, so yeah. So yeah, he can probably be as fast as Lee in the first gate. His strength is more stronger than Lee in the fourth gate. I'll just say his strength is more of his attribute than speed. So, yeah, he would run at Neji, speed blitzing him in a shadow, or practically not even leaving a trace behind. Which he doesn't even train to speed or strength. I'm just telling you that. This is Naruto without training any of that. He just trains. He does a little push-ups and all that, but nothing too much to make his speed go up like Lee made his speed go up so much. So yeah. He just kind of focused on his jutsus. But yeah, he would run, speed blitzing Neji, with Neji kind of being confused where he is. Because we see whenever Naruto went and used some Nine-Tails chakra, it confused him a lot. So this would be even more confusing. And that's whenever he would be met to the face with a punch, sending him back. Then a kick, and then an uppercut, and then a kick to the ground. He would get up with Naruto appearing after stopping running, and he says, "Is that all you got?" And that's whenever Naruto would stretch his legs out, extend them completely, touching his legs. That's whenever he would say, "Shadow dragging lance." I'm gonna say the lance is just a dragon, pretty much. That whenever Naruto punches, a dragon would eat them, or kicks. And so he would charge up this with a dragon head appearing behind him, not a whole dragon, or appearing on him, and it would break the ground, and he would run at him, kicking him with his superior speed before he can strike him. And that's when the head would go up in the air, biting him, exploding. Ending the match with that big attack showing off his Shadow Dragon. He says that I'll just show off every technique I have. He says I'll use my lightning next, and then at the final round I'll use my fire to show off all of his power. But as he doesn't know, he's only going to have one match. But that one match demonstrating his powers and all that. And that would make Shikamaru's clan interested in him and ask how he learned that. And all that. And stuff like that. And Yeah, so all of it goes the same, but now it is Sasuke versus Lee. Sasuke is practically the same level as he was, nothing too much. I'll just say maybe one or two more lightning styles instead of having one lightning style and like two fire styles, which isn't that big of an arsenal of jutsus, honestly. Like, he's about equal to Naruto with his summoning jutsu, or once Naruto learns the Rasengan and Shadow Clones. But yeah, he actually had like the same amount of jutsus as Naruto whenever he learned the Rasengan and all that. But yeah, so you run at him doing the whole Chidori, but of course the whole attack would happen the same with him running away and Sasuke following, trying to end his match, which I don't get why he followed. Like, if I just learned somebody has some beast ability like that, I would definitely run the other way because, like, I don't care how fast I am. Bro, that dude could have took my head off easily. Naruto would break out the Genjutsu, and, you know, Kakashi would give him Shikamaru and them to go on the mission with the dog. They'd say yes and go running off. With Shikamaru asking Naruto how he has the Shadows ability. With Naruto kind of not knowing how he got them because he was still Naruto. And he would be like, I think, some dude with snake eyes and all that threw a crystal at me, and whenever it touched me, it kind of gave me these abilities, which he says are Dragon Slayer abilities. And so you know about Dragon Slayers, why is that? He'll explain that actually I already had a Dragon Slayer ability, saying I had Fire Dragon Slayer already, because I was already taught it. And whenever I got the crystal, it gave me another Dragon Slayer ability. He'll ask, then who taught you the Fire Dragon Slayer? He will say, whenever I was younger, for 4 years I was taught it until I can go in the academy, and he sent me back to the village. And I just practiced all of it then and there and came up with some of my own moves. And practically Dragon Slayer, Shadow Dragon Slayer is the same and all that. So yeah. He says then, is it true that you can't just learn it through scrolls? Naruto would say true, yes, but he would also say that there's crystals that I don't know the name of that holds the powers of Dragon Slayers inside of them. Whoever gets their hands all in it, they would be able to get the power of it, but it also increases your strength a lot more than a normal person, and it does take a lot of chakra to use it. So whenever you want it naturally, you have to build up your chakra, which Naruto would say that, but I didn't have to build up my chakra too much because I was born with a lot of chakra compared to most, but I still had to train it. But a normal, like, he would say, a normal Jonin level of chakra, they can probably only pull off a couple moves, 4 to 3 moves, but my level of chakra, I can pull off spamming a move, even having 2 of them. But the crystals give you chakra, but if you're not strong enough, it might destroy you. Just because I don't know why, just where nobody else can automatically get the crystal and all that. But yeah, so they would just run through, nothing really special. I'll do the whole thing. Everybody comes and all that, taking down some of the people, and Naruto would ran in front of Sakura, and when it catched up to Sasuke, seeing him on the ground, and Naruto would be, I would say he's fast enough to dodge him in that form, but barely. Barely. If he slows down just a bit, he'll have his head cut off. But that's whenever Naruto starts using Shadow Step around, because they are in the forest, disappearing, reappearing, taking exploding kunais and stabbing them into him. That which we've seen that one of them can destroy quite a bit of his body in the first form, or the second form, I think. And he would go into his third form, almost covering his whole body, but only one part's not covered. And that's when Naruto would have said Shadow Clone, or he would say True Shadow Clone. Which what this does is actually make Shadow Clones. It's practically just Shadow Clones, but it's more durable than normal ones, and I'll say they can reform themselves if he wants them to. Instead of popping, that he can reform them. And they would come up with their kunais and stab into him, saying Uzumaki, 1,000 exploding tags. Exploding him completely, leaving himself open. But that's whenever he would transform into the Shinkaku. That's his fourth form. And he would let the Shinkaku out. And he would shoot wooden bullets at Naruto. But Naruto would be able to disappear in time. And he would appear in the air. And he would smack, cutting his hand or biting his finger and smacking against a tree, saying, Summoning Jutsu. Toad summoning. Gamabunta! Jumping on top of him. That's when he tells Gamabunta to throw an oil attack. Gamabunta would be ready and he would be like, Toad oil! Covering the whole area with Naruto saying, Fire Dragon Slayer! Roar! Shooting that gigantic roar. The size of, the toad or the whole Shinkaku. Hitting the oil. Exploding the whole area. But that's whenever Sakura would appear. With Sakura getting kicked away. Or with it getting grabbed away. Or, no, I'll just knock her out instead. She would get flicked by a rebel and got shot across the whole forest, because that would complicate my battle. But yeah. That's whenever Shinkaku would say, air bullet, blasting an air bullet. But Naruto would say, shadow armor, which would hit the armor covering the toad and would have broke. It would have depleted, only doing a tenth of its damage that it normally would do. And he would tell him to pull out his sword and attack. Flip him taking out his swords, and he tells him to swing it down directly at the middle of his body. And he says, but I can't get to it. And Naruto just says, just get ready to swing. Naruto teleporting them in shadows. Chief Toad swinging down, cutting Shinkaku in half. And that's whenever he tells him to grab Shinkaku's other piece of the body. And he would give him shadow claws, grabbing them and being able to swing them apart. And that's when he tells them to throw another, saying shoot a water attack. Blasting off with one, with Naruto saying, lightning style, lightning breath. Pouring a lot of chakra into them. Blasting around the whole water style, water bullet. Taking him down. Or hitting him, which would hit, Gaara, and the lightning would shock him awake. And all that. So, Shikoku would disappear with Naruto. These summoning Gamabunta, Chief Toad, jumping down, catching Gaara, and explaining the whole thing. Naruto wouldn't be wounded because he was strong. And all that. And that's whenever Gaara would be saved. And the third Hokage got stabbed. Poor guy. But yeah. So, in this, Naruto, I'm just gonna mess up the timeline, just telling you guys this a lot. Third Hokage dead. They would go find Tsunade, the whole battle, or it would actually go to Itachi, but it would just be Naruto. I'll say Naruto would just dips. Or that's at least my logic. If somebody's stronger than me, like 2 guys can probably take me down, like tag teaming me, and I have the ability to disappear and run away, I would do that. So the whole thing is happening with them chasing him through the town while he's in the shadow form, with Naruto being able to shoot attacks still in this form, but they would be weaker than him being his regular form. And that also causes him to go into his normal form for just a second and shoot them. So yeah, but eventually Jiraiya would find him, Jiraiya would make them run away, and they would find Tsunade. She would badmouth the third Hokage. Naruto would challenge her. And Naruto's been told about the regular Rasengan, saying that if you use the regular Rasengan and your flaming shadows together, it could be even stronger. So it would be much easier for him, but so he would actually master the Rasengan by now. And he would put his hand to the ground, kind of like the Chidori looking way, and he would say, Rasengan! And he would make a Rasengan in one hand, and that's whenever he put his other hand to the ground, saying, Flaming Shadows! And that's, so he would charge at him, taking Flaming Shadows, flying his hand, swinging down, saying, Beam, release, something like that, and he would shoot, striking at her, but she would dodge. And she would go to punch him, with him dodging, of course, because he's much faster. Then turning into shadows, coming to her side, saying her Rasengan, with her going to elbow him, with him disappearing into his shadows again, hitting her in the back, and would slam her into the ground. But she would still be able to get up with her regenerating and all that. And he would win. He would go back, but this is whenever Naruto and them would go for training. But this time, the training's gonna be different. I'll say I might go into Shippuden in this one because I actually kind of like it. But this is the first 1.5 years of training, and there will be different stuff happening in this What If. I also would go into Shippuden in this one later, I'll say, but yeah, Sasuke would still leave, but Naruto plans to go earlier instead of later to grab him. But yeah, so see you guys. Oh yeah, this is where I'll leave it off. I might come back to this and shipping it. I'm not completely sure. But yeah. After this, I might do some Ichigo episodes. No, I have to finish What If Deku Had Stain's Power after this. See you guys later.